Step away from the car right now. I'm certain you didn't purchase this vehicle. The statement sliced through the warm Saturday air like a sharp blade. Officer Derek Mitchell kept one hand resting on his holster, his gaze locked on the woman standing beside the immaculate 1967 Mustang. Kesha Washington, wearing fitted jeans and a simple blazer, slowly lifted her hands in compliance. Around them, shoppers halted mid-step. Phones were raised. A ring of onlookers began to form. "Place your hands on the hood," Mitchell ordered, his voice echoing through the upscale shopping center's parking lot. "This car matches a stolen vehicle report." Kesha's designer purse slipped from her shoulder as she obeyed. Inside the car, a leather portfolio sat on the passenger seat, its embossed seal barely visible under scattered sheets of paper. The crowd thickened, cameras continued recording. Have you ever been judged by the color of your skin instead of your true character? Even while holding more authority than those making the judgment? 10 minutes remained before courthouse security noticed that Judge Washington was absent from the emergency judicial meeting. Officer Mitchell stalked around the Mustang like a predator sizing up its prey. In his 12 years on the job, he believed he'd learned to detect inconsistencies. A black woman in casual attire behind the wheel of a vehicle worth more than most people earn in a year, it didn't add up to him. "This car's worth more than your salary for the next 5 years, he declared, loud enough for the swelling crowd to hear. "So, let's start with the truth." 20 feet away, college student Amara Johnson kept her phone steady, live streaming to her TikTok followers. The viewer count shot upward, 847. 1,203. 2,456, comments poured in faster than she could read. "Officer, I can explain," Kesha said, her voice composed despite the burning humiliation in her chest. "No, ma'am," Mitchell interrupted, reaching for his radio. "You'll explain to detectives. Right now, I need registration, insurance, and proof of purchase." The crowd pressed in. Some filmed openly, others pretended to browse nearby shops, their eyes fixed on the confrontation. Kesha spotted an elderly black woman forcing her way through the onlookers, recognition flashing across her lined face. "That's not," the woman began. "Step back, ma'am," Mitchell cut in sharply without breaking his focus on Kesha. "Police matter." Kesha's phone buzzed at her hip. The screen flashed, "Chief Justice calling." She couldn't answer, not with her palms still pressed against the warm metal of her father's prized possession. The restored car. The same one she had driven to endless family cookouts, each trip keeping her father's memory alive in every flawless detail. "I'm going to need you to empty your pockets," Mitchell pressed on. Backup would arrive soon. Saturdays in this district usually meant petty shoplifting calls, but this felt different. This felt like the kind of arrest that could define a career. "Officer Mitchell," Kesha read his name tag with deliberate care. "Badge number 4847. I need you to understand. What I understand," he cut in, "is that you're stalling. People who belong with cars like this don't get jumpy around police." The live stream view count climbed, 8,932 and rising. Amara's phone battery read 34%, but she kept recording. This was the kind of footage that exposed truths about racial profiling in America. Through the Mustang's window, Kesha's leather portfolio caught a beam of afternoon light. A first-class boarding pass from her recent trip to Washington, D.C. peeked from its side pocket. Beside it, almost hidden, was an expired VIP courthouse parking pass from her old vehicle. Her phone vibrated again, an emergency judicial conference. A landmark civil rights case. Her vote was critical. "Ma'am, I'll ask one last time," Mitchell said, his patience exaggerated for the cameras. "How did you get this car?" "It was my father's," Kesha answered evenly. "Judge Robert Washington." Mitchell's face didn't change. A name meant nothing without proof, and proof was exactly what he intended to demand. "Anyone can say anything. I need documentation. A ripple moved through the crowd. Someone whispered, Judge Washington, turning heads. The elderly woman tried once more to step forward, but others held her back, wary of escalating the moment. Officer, a mall security guard approached, his radio buzzing. Everything under control? Processing a possible stolen vehicle, Mitchell replied, calling for backup to help with the search. The word search seemed to electrify the gathering. More phones appeared. The ring of onlookers widened yet pressed closer, sensing something important was unfolding. Kesha's briefcase rested in the back seat, the state Supreme Court seal turned away from view. Inside were documents that could instantly clear her name, but reaching for them now would only heighten Mitchell's suspicions. Her phone buzzed again. 10 minutes left before her absence at the courthouse became a crisis, 10 minutes until a pivotal vote on police accountability moved forward without her deciding voice. The irony wasn't lost on her. Back up en route, Mitchell said into his radio, requesting a supervisor for a possible vehicle recovery. Amara's live stream hit 12,847 viewers. Comments poured in, "This is disgusting. Why isn't anyone helping? Where is this happening? Someone call the news." The elderly woman finally broke free. "Officer, that woman is..." "Ma'am, final warning," Mitchell cut her off. "Step back or you'll be arrested for interfering." Kesha watched her retreat, defeat etched into her face. Anyone who might know her, courthouse staff, fellow attorneys, legal clerks, were either at the emergency meeting or avoiding weekend errands. She was surrounded by strangers, their phones capturing every degrading second. Mitchell's radio clicked. Unit 47 requesting more backup for a vehicle search. The suspect is non-compliant, and the crowd is getting hostile. Non-compliant. Hostile. Words that would frame the story in his report, shaping public perception before the truth could surface. Kesha knew too well the power of language, the way it could recast a victim into a perpetrator with a few careful choices. Her portfolio sat inches away, holding everything she needed to stop this. But reaching for it meant sudden movement, escalation, and the very type of confrontation her judicial training had taught her to avoid. She stayed still, palms on the hood, cameras running, authority hidden in plain sight. Minutes until courthouse security realized Judge Washington was missing. The wail of sirens sliced through the weekend buzz. 2 patrol cars swung into view, blue lights flickering across the crowd. Sergeant Reynolds stepped from the first, 23 years of experience reflected in his steady posture. "What's the situation, Mitchell?" Reynolds scanned the scene, the pristine Mustang, the poised woman with her hands on the hood, the sea of phone-wielding bystanders. "Possible stolen vehicle," Mitchell said, puffing his chest. "She claims it was her father's but can't produce proper paperwork." Reynolds studied Kesha with more care. Something didn't sit right about Mitchell's account, but protocol required supporting a fellow officer. "Ma'am, we'll need you to step away from the vehicle while we investigate." Amara's live feed skyrocketed, 23,472 viewers. Her battery dropped to 28%, but she kept streaming. Comments blurred by too quickly to read, though she caught. #racial profiling, #Black Lives Matter, #Justice for Judge Washington. Wait, Judge Washington? Officer Janet Torres emerged from the second patrol car, her 5 years of service making her wary of high-profile cases. She began crowd control, marking the perimeter while her body camera recorded everything. "Sir, we need to keep this area calm," Torres told Reynolds. "The crowd's restless, and media's on the way." Indeed, a local news van had pulled in, its satellite dish already rising. Reporter Jennifer Martinez stepped out with her cameraman, drawn by the viral buzz online. In the crowd, the elderly woman, Mrs. Dorothy Hayes, pulled out her phone. Her stiff fingers scrolled slowly through the courthouse directory. She knew that face, those sharp, steady eyes. For decades in the legal system had taught her to recognize authority even under casual clothes. "Officers," Kesha said, her voice carrying the command she used in court, "I understand your concern, but I need to make a phone call. This is a serious misunderstanding." "No calls until we finish," Mitchell snapped. "Turn around. Hands behind your back." The crowd reacted instantly. "She's not resisting," one voice yelled. "This is harassment," another called. A teen with purple hair streamed from a different angle, adding to the digital flood of evidence. Reynolds raised his hand for calm as dispatch reports buzzed through his radio: domestic disturbance on 5th Street, possible break-in at an electronics shop. Saturday was busy, and this standoff was consuming too many units. "Look," Reynolds said, more even-tempered than Mitchell, "if you can show registration and insurance, we can clear this up fast." Kesha's phone buzzed. "Chief Justice, 4th call. 5 minutes left." "The documents are in my briefcase," she said, careful with every word. "In the back seat." "I'll get them for evidence," Mitchell said, stepping toward the car. "That briefcase contains confidential legal files," Kesha replied sharply. "If you have nothing to hide, you won't object to a search." The implications slammed into her: attorney-client privilege, sealed cases, judicial confidentiality. Her briefcase could unravel ongoing trials, breach ethics, even cause mistrials. "Officer, I'm invoking my Fourth Amendment rights. You cannot search my car or personal belongings without a warrant or probable cause." Mitchell's smirk was cold. "Probable cause? How about suspected auto theft?" Mall security supervisor Carlos Rodriguez appeared, reading the tension instantly. "Officers, mall management is concerned about the disruption. How long will this take?" "As long as necessary," Mitchell shot back. "We're in the middle of a criminal investigation." Torres leaned toward Reynolds. "Sarge, these live streams have blown up, over 40,000 people watching." Reynolds felt the weight of it. Modern policing meant every action was instantly judged by the public. One wrong step could end careers, fuel protests, or trigger federal review. In the crowd, Mrs. Hayes finally found it: the courthouse photo of the Honorable Judge Kesha Washington, Superior Court. Her face lit up with recognition. She pushed forward again, but the crowd had grown beyond 200. "Officer," she called, her voice carrying years of courthouse authority, "that woman is Judge Kesha Washington of the Superior Court." Mitchell froze, handcuffs halfway to Kesha's wrists. "Ma'am, please step back. I worked." "We deeply apologize for the situation, Your Honor," Torres said carefully. "This was not a misunderstanding, Officer Torres," Kesha cut in firmly. "A misunderstanding is taking the wrong turn after bad directions. This," she gestured toward the scene, "was profiling. This was prejudice. This was the automatic assumption that a black woman couldn't possibly own something valuable." Mitchell finally managed to speak, his voice barely above a whisper. "Judge Washington. I was just following protocol." "Protocol?" Kesha's brows lifted in the same way she would when challenging shaky testimony in court. "Your protocol includes assuming theft based purely on race? Your protocol includes refusing a person the chance to show identification? Your protocol includes threatening arrest when someone invokes their constitutional rights?" She drew her phone from her pocket, the screen displaying 17 missed calls from Chief Justice Thompson. "While you were conducting this so-called investigation, I missed voting on landmark cases. The emergency judicial conference I was required to attend went forward without the swing vote, my vote, on police accountability measures. Measures designed to stop exactly what happened here today." The irony settled over the parking lot like lingering smoke from a fire. Mitchell's actions had directly disrupted legislation intended to reform police conduct. The officer who had profiled a judge had just influenced judicial decisions about profiling. "Ma'am, Your Honor, Reynolds stumbled over the shift from treating her as a suspect to recognizing her as a high-ranking authority. What can